Welcome to the BBC School News Report from Abbey Grange in Leeds. My name's Rashad.
And my name's Miranda.
What time do you wake up in the morning, Miranda?
Well, personally, I wake up at 5:55 in the morning, and I feel like that's just too early for me. I need my beauty sleep.
I absolutely agree that you need your beauty sleep. I don't think I need any. We're about to go and talk about this exact situation in this news story.
These students and teachers are from Abbey Grange Academy in Leeds. Today we found out what students and teachers think of school starting later. A new study has shown delaying school starting times for teenagers can have major benefits, including better academic performances and improved mental and physical health. When students in their teens started school at 10 a.m. instead of the average 8:30 a.m, day rates of illness decreased by half over a 2-year period, and the school got on average better grades. Dr. Paul Kelly said that adolescents effectively lose up to 2 hours of sleep per day, which is a huge society issue.
I feel like school time should be pushed back, so then if we have PE first period, we'll be able to be more energetic.
I feel like it'll also help our GCSE grades as well.
I think school should end at the same time, because if it didn't, after school clubs such as football would end late.
However, in terms of staff, for myself, if you live further afield, which a lot of teachers do, it's not practical in terms of getting home, driving, getting stuck in traffic.
The idea of starting later at school is a bit idealistic in many respects. Is that it'd take a national shift across the whole country to change times, because ultimately, let's say for example, if I had to come in only at 10 o'clock and I came in until 5 o'clock, and my daughter's school and my son's school start at 8 until 3, then I've got a problem there with getting them to school or picking them up, and so it could cost a lot of money.
I think it's really good waking up a bit later, starting school a bit later, because you've got time to revise and do work in the morning, and you can also rely in as well.
When you're in school, you already have all the stress of doing schoolwork, and why do you need that stress to get up early in the morning? Reduces the chance of getting late marks all the time, which is what a lot of potential employers and universities and whatnot look at when they're thinking of taking.
We have heard both sides as to whether school should start later, but we have a question for you. What do you think about school starting later? This has been Miranda from BBC News Report. Our next topic, we'll be talking about game addictions. So Rashad, what type of games are you addicted to?
Well, back in my day, I didn't really play any games. I used to just play outside. But now that this new game has come out, I don't really go outside at all.
That's quite odd. Here we discuss the new trending game and how it impacts teens all around the world.
This is the game that is taking over the lives of our young children.
Thank you, Rashad. I think Fortnite is a very action-packed and exciting game. Do you really think this causes severe addiction?
Well, I believe that since the game became popular around 5 months ago, it's overtaken the lives of many young children. Many parents believe that they have lost their children in the game and their children are addicted. Here we have an interview with a mum who feels the exact same way.
I get concerned about the effect that video games have on my son at the moment. He likes to play Fortnite, and it seems to be taking up a lot of his time, and when I want him to come off the video game and do something else and he doesn't want to, and it's always another 5 minutes, 15 minutes. And sometimes I feel like he gets to bed too late, and I'd rather he was in bed earlier and getting more sleep, given that he's still a growing teenager.
Now we will interview some children and teenagers to see their view on this situation.
Fortnite has a negative impact because it keeps me off the streets, and it's cool. It also helps me to socialise with my friends.
Fortnite positively impacts me because it helps me with my team skills and my concentration level.
Here are some facts about Fortnite.
9 to 15-year-olds are most affected by Fortnite, playing it 5 to 13 hours a day. Fortnite is a free-to-play game that you can play on PC, Xbox and PlayStation.
Do you use social media, Miranda?
Of course I do. Social medias I use are Snapchat and Instagram. I feel like they're good resources to contact people and know what they're doing.
Do you think social media is good or bad? What effects do you think it has on young people's lives?
We are going to hear people's points of views on what they think about social media.
I'm Nan, and I'm reporting on social media and the effects it has on young people.
Yes, I think social media, in my opinion, is a good thing. You can keep in touch with family. I use it. So for me, personally, I think it's a great way to keep in contact with people. Social media has got its place. I feel that it's a good tool to have. It's all about progress, but it does have a lot of drawbacks. I would say here at Abbey Grange, social media creates us a daily issue. Not daily, at least every other day, certainly. It's massive, but it's the way that young people communicate, it's the way young people socialise, it's the way people would organise.
Research shows that the average time people spend on social media is 2 hours a day.
It's nice to have social media to be able to call or message your friends, but there is a different side, whether if you're having an argument with someone.
Social media is a great way to interact with your friends without being near them.
I like social media because it's a way to connect with your friends outside of school.
My opinion on social media is I think it can be a good thing, so it can connect people. And I feel like there are negative things with social media as well. I feel sometimes people behave on social media in a way that they wouldn't. I do think there are addictive qualities to social media, yes. I think that it can be addictive because you want to post things a lot of the time.
This is Nan with BBC News. Thank you for watching.
Sexual harassment has been on the news a lot lately. Here's our story about it.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and today we will be talking about the Time's Up movement. Here to report more is Esther.
The Time's Up movement is a campaign run by celebrities to raise awareness of the seriousness of sexual assault. The 75th Golden Globe Awards weren't just about the best TV shows and films this year. During this year's award ceremony, celebrities got in formation to protest sexual abuse in Hollywood by wearing all black.
So lots of people through social media and the news are able to access and support it. I think it can also make people aware of lots of discrimination and inappropriate behaviour that does still go on in our society. Unfortunately, I don't think it reaches all audiences because a lot of people don't access media.
It matters massively to me. I think as a woman and as someone who teaches young girls, I see the impact that casual comments or gender stereotyping or expectations that is things that are expected of girls puts on them.
It's not only women that get affected by this, men do too.
I think it's massively relevant to me. I've got a little daughter and I don't want her to grow up in a world where that kind of behaviour is seen as the norm and is seen as acceptable.
Overall, there are many different opinions on the Time's Up movement. Some people believe it makes a big difference and some people believe it makes no difference. What do you think?
Now over to our reporters, Emily and Sophie, who have been finding out about gender inequality in schools.
Are girls still being told that sports isn't for them, or is it the boys who are now under pressure?
Also, are girls being pushed more to be involved in STEM and think about STEM careers?
Football is the national sport in Britain, but women struggle to gain acceptance within the game and matches. Even though there is a growth of females watching the games, they are still struggling to be accepted in the game itself.
I believe the opportunities that students get is the same. For example, girls playing with dolls and prams when they're younger get led to thinking that they should be doing those sort of things. The boys go out and play football and sport and things like that. I believe it's probably harder for a female to get to a high level in sport because of some of the stereotyping, some of the derogatory comments that get made towards them. We feel the pressure to be strong and to be a man and to be big.
In the school environment, I think gender equality is definitely the same. In school, I would hope not. Out of school, I believe there is still big differences. I do think it's a gender thing, and it's, this thing of boys have to be strong. All sports are okay for everybody to do.
STEM stands for careers linked to science, technology, engineering and maths. There is a discrepancy between the gender at the moment in STEM. 13% of jobs are taken up by women.
Girls like to do gymnastics, but it's not aimed at girls. In technology, they do a lot more. They think the boys wanted to become engineers, and they sometimes don't think about the girls wanting to do physical work. I think we're all good at sports and we're all equal. You can work hard and you can get there. Sometimes boys do ballet and people say, oh, that's why you're doing that, it's a girl thing to do.
Personally, I do think gender inequality is an issue at school because there are some people that still think that women have certain roles or women should do certain things. Thank you, back to you guys at the studio.
Thank you, Rhianna. This has been Emily
and Sophie
reporting for BBC News School Report.
real seagull problem at our school, Miranda. Have you ever been pooed on by one?
No, not really. But one of my friends just recently have been pooped on their heads.
Here's our report about litter.
Hello, and welcome to the BBC School News Report. I'm your host, Alex, and today we will be talking about plastic waste and how it affects our environment and our everyday lives.
The World Health Organization have run some tests on water in water bottles. They have found out that on average there are 10 pieces of plastic particles per litre of water in every water bottle.
Only 7% of drinking bottles that are bought are turned into new bottles, and less than 50% are collected for recycling.
Recently, in Agriculture Academy, there has been new policies to prevent littering, with list picking detentions being handed out. However, some students are unhappy with these changes.
Well, I feel picking up other people's litter that you didn't drop is a bit stupid, and like you should just have to pick up the litter that you've just dropped, get her a normal, don't know, half lunch detention, and then it should be over and done with. Maybe if the teachers are really desperate to punish students, give them a comment as well.
Okay, well it's early days yet, but I think quite a lot of students have bought into it, and I think most students recognise that we need to do something about the litter. Interestingly, I've had quite a lot of students who have come and volunteered to do litter picking, so we've got some badges made and they're actually feeling strongly enough so that even though they're not dropping the litter, they're willing to do that voluntarily. So that's been really good, quite a few people. And of course the actual campaign came out of the fact that the Student Council brought litter up as an issue as well.
So once plastic's been used, the best thing is to make sure that it gets recycled, whether that's plastic bottles or plastic packaging. I reckon in school we should maybe have plastic waste bins just to ensure that all the students put the plastic in that bin, and then it can obviously go away, get recycled, and then we can use it.
Thank you for listening to our BBC School News Report on plastic waste and litter. And now, back to you in the studio.
And finally, the famous physicist Stephen Hawking has passed away.
We are now going to our presenter, Robin, to find out more about his achievements and struggles.
Stephen Hawking died on the 14th of March 2018 and has struck the hearts of many scientists across the world. Today we will be talking about how his death has affected them.
At the age of 22, he was diagnosed with a rare debilitating disease and was only given a few years to live. However, he went against the odds and continued with his scientific research, eventually dying at the age of 76.
Because the other thing about Hawking is that what he shows is that you can do science no matter what handicaps you've got. His physical disabilities were absolutely immense, but he showed how you can overcome those and still make a massive contribution to the understanding of science just through the force of intellect, just through working hard, through thinking about stuff. You didn't have to be able to run around, you didn't have to be a sportsman. You made a difference just by using your brain. The thing about Stephen Hawking's work is that he really made a point of making it accessible to the public as much as was possible. So you're looking at some pretty hard physics going on, and he made it so that the public was interested in it. He engaged the public in that research, and that meant that it inspires young people, it should be a big part of what science is about, because it's a really creative occupation. It's really creative, and it requires both rigour and creativity, perhaps in equal measure, to be successful at it. And what Hawking did was he publicised it in such a way that he made the public aware of it. He made the public think, oh, I can understand this is good, this is great stuff, it's fascinating. And that's absolutely crucial for public understanding of science.
But will his legacy live on?
I know that Stephen Hawking revolutionised physics, and that he was given 3 years to live, even though within 50 years, or half a century, he did tons of things that changed.
Research and breakthroughs will be remembered forever. However, will he and his legacy also be remembered? This is BBC News, signing off.
Thank you for watching our
BBC School News Report. Thank you for watching.